Welcome to PLG Spotlight. I'm Matt Gordon, and today we are spotlighting the Sisters of Charity of Nazareth. And here I'm at the Nazareth campus on this beautiful day, which every day here is beautiful. Today I'm going to talk to a few sisters about how life is on campus.
I'm Sister Rita Davis. I say that because we have 6 Sister Ritas, and I'm Davis. And I work with the Visitor Center now. I was a teacher for a very long time, primary teacher, and I also taught freshman comp in a community college in Massachusetts. And I taught some English as another language. And now I am in the Visitor Center and at Nazareth, and I love it because I found out that some years ago, when people would come for a tour here, the switchboard person was having trouble finding someone to take them around, show them around. So I was at a point, I moved back from Massachusetts because my mom was quite ill in Bowling Green. And so I thought, well, I could do that. So I wrote up the job and took it to our leader of the area here, and she thought this was doable. So that's how it happened. We have a nice wall hanging here that I think states the purpose of the room so people know what we're about when they walk in the door. It says, living the gospel, creating hope, and empowering others. And that's the general mission of all the Sisters of Charity of Nazareth and many other congregations also. But my job is to greet people that come in. Some have never even been on the campus. Some went to school here in the college days and the academy days, and they like to come back, so give them a tour too.
Now, when did the schools end?
The academy ended in 1966, which was the year I entered, and people used to talk about the academy girls this and that, and I kept looking around and looking for high school girls on the campus, and I didn't see any. He said, oh no, the academy had to close in '66, so that's why I never saw any of them. And then the college closed in 1971.
Now, you said, like, when you entered, is that when you made your decision to become a sister?
Yes, I was 21. I had attended Western Kentucky University. And I just decided that after many adventures there, that I like to pray. And so finally it hit me. I'm not going to settle on anybody. I think I better settle on God. So one of our sisters, her picture is over there on the wall, Sister Cecilia Simic. It is a very interesting story with her. She came and she stood by her picture and told me her story. She was a Hindu, first of all, and her whole family was. And she's the only girl. I think she has 4 brothers, and her parents, they were all the same religion there. But she got to know some of our sisters, and she asked her dad if she could join us. Of course, that meant she had to become a Christian.
Yeah.
Then she had to become a Catholic Christian, and then a Sister of Charity of Nazareth Christian. Right. So her dad finally agreed to do that, to let her. And then the whole family got interested. So 2 of her brothers are priests, and now one of them is a bishop in India. We have our Journey magazine that comes out 3 times a year, and it's all about what we're doing currently in missions and ministries, and it's quite a wonderful magazine. And we get a lot of them. These are our 3 current leaders. This is a back issue, but they're still the current leaders. Sister Susan Gatz, the president. Sister Sangeeta from India is a vice president. And so is Sister Brenda Gonzalez is a vice president. Brenda was just in here a few minutes ago with a friend. So what do we do with our back issues? We turn them into jewelry. And we will take a page, cut it up, roll it into really tight little beads. Some of them are skinny beads, and now one of my new volunteers is making fat beads, which are great. They're really pretty too. And people like those. So we roll them up, and then we spray them with a fixative. They're fairly shiny, and they're not waterproof, but they're water resistant. One photo I have is of Sister Chris Kudzi in Belize. She is a nurse, and the picture shows her of probably a little preschooler giving him his polio vaccine in a syringe by mouth. It's either a polio vaccine or some sort of inoculation that they would have to do for children going to school.
Yeah.
And she would go around the countryside and help do like nursing. She is a nurse.
Well, it sounds like everybody that passes through these doors, everybody who stays here has got some kind of a skill or a special talent that they all leave behind, and you kind of tuck away here in this little room and share it with everybody else. Well, thank you so much for
you're welcome,
telling me all
Matt.
these stories and explaining everything to me.
Yeah.
But it's been great. You definitely.
I'm always glad to have you come.
Yeah.
The sisters were originally founded out at St. Thomas Parish, and there's an old log cabin there. And so when we started, we joined the bishop and some priests, seminarians that were there, and they sort of built up the church, and they built a school. But we found out after the school was built that we'd never be able to own that property. So the sisters spent a lot of time and energy building the school and recruiting students to come. And then when we found out we could never own the property, it just so happened that a woman who joined our community at that time, again, almost 200 years ago, was entering, and she came with some patrimony or money from her family, and they were able to move here and buy this property at Nazareth. So we've been here since 195 years. So we're celebrating that time here on this actual property.
Yeah.
And then this was our original building, school building, and the convent. And obviously we've added on, you can kind of tell as you're walking down the hallway where the additions come on to the different pieces of the building as it was added on for expansion purposes. And then this window here is one of our symbols for the community, which is the pelican, the mother pelican. And you can see that she pecks her own chest in order to draw some blood, and then uses that blood to feed her offspring when there's no food available. And we look at that symbol as giving, a sacrificial giving to help bring forward new life. And that's one of the things that we live by as a sister, is really sacrificing and being present to those who need care and concern, those people who live on the margins of society, be that women helping to care for the earth, children, the abused. That's what we're about. All of the artwork that's a part of the Mother House has been donated by you'll see little plaques that different people have donated to the sisters through the years. It's not like we're art collectors, but it's just donations that have come in through the years from various religious and others that have been served by the sisters. Part of our congregation, we are an international community, and so we have sisters in 5 different countries, and this is our Mother House, or sort of the common place that we all share. This is the place that people come home to when they're based at missions outside of the area. So this is like our home gathering spot. So this area we're going into is some offices in our library for the sisters. So the people housed in this building are sisters. We have some that are in their own apartments, shared apartments, and then we have the next section that we're coming to is going to be sisters who are in assisted living. So we have our own sort of assisted living facility as a part of the campus, so that sisters who need some basic care can receive that without having to go to our nursing home in Louisville, which is called Nazareth Home.
And we have basically everything the sisters need to function independently here. You know, from in-home health care to the mini shop, you know, to the dining room, to the chapel, to other gathering places. So everything gets recycled and shared around here.
The money that we get in here for the clothes and shoes and purses, whatever, we usually take in at least $200 a month, at least. Sometimes more, and I keep it for the next month just in case we don't make what I want to send. And the money goes to Sister Paula Merrill's Memorial Fund. And she's the one that was murdered back in, what month was that? August. Several times I got little notes from her, the people that she served, I wish I'd kept them. I didn't keep them. And they had written them, and it would say something like, "Thank you for the money that you gave to me from Paula. I was able to have x-rays, or I was able to go to the doctor with it." And I'd get one. Every time she'd come, she would bring me one. And it was written on, not stationery, just a little piece of paper, anything that they had. Well, I have 3 jobs. This is only one. I work here, I work at the switchboard, and I work over Crimmins and do some of their things over there. I keep saying I'm going to give up one of them, but I don't want to give this one up, because I think this is the need for some of the people here.
And you know, the St. Vincent is where the sisters enter and make their vows. And then after 50, 60, 70, some even 80 years of having made vows, this is where they're laid to rest. They'll have their funeral mass in this church, and they'll be buried out in the cemetery. The sisters will gather outside and form an honor guard to greet the sister's body when the sister arrives, and then when it's time to say goodbye and bury the sister, they'll walk out to the cemetery, and there'll be music that comes out from the bell tower. So really this is their home for their entire life once they make vows. A lot of sisters come out here to say their prayers. It's all about living in community, which is kind of one of my favorite things, is no matter how many years you've been here, you find something new. You know, they're running our retreat ministries. One of the sisters is very active with Room in the Inn. Another sister's writing a book. You met Martha Clan, who has 3 different jobs. So there's a lot happening in this building and in this series of buildings.
It really is a beautiful place here in Nazareth. Thanks again for joining us on Spotlight. I'm Matt Gordon, and I'll see you next time.